going on, folks? And thanks for tuning in to today's episode about swim jigs and my favorite trailers that get you bit in the grass. I love a swim jig. I'm a power fisherman. So if you're a power fisherman like myself, you definitely need to add the swim jig to your arsenal. And let's get right into it. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and that like button if this video helps you out for more content coming your way. Now, let's talk about swim jigs. Now, Berkley came out with a swim jig this past year, and I finally got my hands on it. I was able to use it early this year at the Potomac River, and it was a bait that stayed on my deck through practice and throughout the event. And what made this swim jig very different from other swim jigs on the market is that this swim jig right here, the Finesese swim jig, 1/4 ounce, has the power bait infused in the skirt. And I think that that was a big deal, especially where I was fishing at on the Potomac River, where it was some areas that I was fishing that had high concentration of competitors. A lot of boats was in there. So we had boaters and co-anglers. And when you got in those grass mats and those grass areas on those grass flats, you sort of found out where the bass were at. There was high concentration of boats in the area. And I think that the power bait in the skirt really allowed me to get some key bites when even my co-anglers were throwing the same type of bait. They're also throwing swim jigs, just covering a lot of water and waiting for those swim jigs to come over the head of those bass so they can attack it and strike and get them in the boat. So this swim jig, high confidence in it, super sharp Fusion 19 hook, but it has the power bait in the skirt. So I cut down the skirt just a little bit. I'm gonna show you the two examples I have, but I just want to talk about the components of it. This is an awesome swim jig, so you definitely want to try this out. Power bait in the skirts, that's a big plus from the people at Berkley for figuring out how to put the power bait in the skirt. And I think that scent trail and the action of the skirt and the lifelike appeal really helped out with getting some key bites. Now let's talk about some trailers that go with my swim jig. I only use 2 trailers and several techniques. Let's get into those right now. The first trailer that I put on my Finesese swim jig by Berkley is the 3.5 inch Berkley Crash Craw. This is it right here. And this is a bait that you would think that you would flip, pitch, punch, throw on a Carolina rig, Texas rig, things of that nature. But the action of these legs right here is phenomenal. It creates a lot of turbulence, a lot of action in the water, and it just creates a lot of drama in the water to where it's going to attract a predator. It's going to attract that fish. So I chose to throw the Crash Craw on the back of my swim jig, and I didn't lay it flat as you would think that I would do. I actually rigged it sideways, and let me show you how I did that. Here it is right here on that 1/4 ounce Finesese swim jig, and it's rigged sideways. Why? Because I wanted to imitate that bait fish, a bluegill, a fleeing bait fish, a shad. And with those legs kicking, creating a lot of action, it does that. Lifelike appeal on the swim jig right there. The skirt has the power bait scent infused in it. Super sharp Fusion 19 hook. And with it being a Finesese swim jig, the skirt is not that stiff. So it doesn't have a lot of strands on that weed guard right there. Very finessey type of weed guard. And you're gonna get bit, you're gonna get hooked up with that super sharp Fusion 19 hook. So I went with the Berkley Crash Craw, and this is what I got confidence in on the grass flats. During the high tide, low tide, slack tide, what have you, I was throwing this constantly, going for those aggressive fish in those grass flats that get you bit. So that is my #1 swim jig trailer because of the action of those legs of the Berkley 3.5 inch Crash Craw. So that's what I use right there in pearl white to match that swim jig right there. So super awesome way for your swim jig to get a lot more action. Didn't apply the Alabama shake. You know, you cast out, you reel it in, and you're shaking your rod tip. No need for that. The action of the legs it does all that for you. Now I'm just doing a straight retrieve, 50-pound Durabraid, 7-foot medium heavy New Vendetta casting rod with a 6:6:1 Revo STX. Pretty simple and making a lot of long casts, covering a lot of water to get bit. Now, I had a second setup with my swim jig when I was around wood, hardcover, docks, things of that nature, where I was applying a different trailer, and let me show you that right now. So here is my second trailer, and this is that Finesese swim jig, but it has a 2.8 Berkley power swimmer on the back of it to match the trailer. This is sight flash, and I was casting this around docks and wood cover to imitate a fleeing bait fish, and I was getting strikes on this. It didn't really occur during the tournament. I think I hit that wood on a different tide, and I just didn't get those bites, and those fish sort of pulled off into deeper water. But on those grass flats, that's when the Crash Craw did the ticket right there. So white, black, and blue, all those, or green pumpkin, those are 3 colors that I like to throw on my swim jig. Black and blue sort of took over during the tournament as we had some overcast with rain coming in. And I think that that was key for those fish to see that dark color overhead coming over those grass flats. So black and blue when it was cloudy or overcast, and white when it was sunny. That's what I like to go with. Fleeing bait fish going towards the fall, this is definitely a go-to right here. So next time you guys are on the water, you guys that love to throw swim jigs, try out the Berkley Crash Craw in the 3.5-inch version, and also the 2.8 Berkley Power Swimmer for your trailers, straight retrieves. Alabama Shake works to get a little bit more action, but with these 2 type trailers, just throw it out, cast it, and hold on, because you're gonna get bit. The Berkley Crash Craw and the Berkley Power Bait Power Swimmer, those are my 2 top trailers for this swim jig. Try them out the next time you go on your swim jig hunt. Until next time, I'm Devon Banks. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and go get them.